Good evening. I'm Shad Didi Laser, and tonight I want to touch upon the power of the evening routine. If you've been tuning into my videos, you've heard a lot of discussion on the benefits of the Daily Gratitude Worksheet towards creating an impactful morning ritual. In this particular video, we're going to go into the bookend of the morning ritual and talk about the evening routine and why that's important. So, why is an evening routine important? First of all, your evening routine provides accountability to ensure that the important gets accomplished. Keep in mind that even the best laid plans can fall apart during the day or get pushed to the back burner due to high priorities that may arise. You can make the decision whether or not to also burn the midnight oil to make an extra call or send an email. So while you're looking at your evening routine or going through your day, you can, if you've missed something due to priorities, you can make a decision whether or not to put in the extra work necessary to end your day on a good note. We all have different definitions of accomplishment, but the important thing is to be accountable and be aware and be alert of what you set out to do for that day. So if you feel like you need to make that email or schedule the email for the next day or schedule a phone call for the next day, those are things that you can do so that you can end your day on a positive note. And that is the importance of the evening routine, is to make sure that you take control of your day before it ends. As many successful married couples will tell you, or long-term relationships, ending the day upset, or if you get in an argument and letting yourself go to sleep without clearing that up, is definitely a recipe for failure. And in this case, in terms of your relationship and your commitment to yourself, if you let agreements that you make to yourself go unfulfilled or unaddressed, then it's the similar equivalent. You don't have to get everything done every day of the week. We're not perfect, but you can definitely review and make plans to prioritize it for the next day. So accountability is very important in terms of your evening routine. Your evening routine also ensures that every day ends on a peaceful, very important, and powerful note. So one more time, every day ends on a peaceful and positive note. Now, peace of mind starts with acceptance of the present and preparation for the future. Acceptance of the present and preparation for the future. So in other words, no matter what happens today, I accept it. I acknowledge it and I embrace it. Having this mindset of acceptance, acknowledgement, and also embracing what has happened allows the ability to find meaning within that particular event and move on mentally and categorize what happened as a neutral event. I want you to think about the major grudges, the major regrets that you've had, or the major events that you're still upset about. In many cases, that anger, that regret, that frustration comes from the point that you can't believe that this person committed such an act against you, or you can't believe how you performed in that particular moment. And what I would ask you to do is accept what happened. You don't have to accept the treatment that happened or how you reacted in that moment. That's where the next part of this comes into play, which is the reframe. A successful evening ritual enables the reframing of events to occur. Reframing events is very important because our reaction to events that occur in our daily life can have a poisonous effect on our mindset. Examples include an argument with a coworker, being late, being stood up for a date, and many other negative events can spill over the 24-hour container that your day was intended for, and also seep into your energy for the next day. So each day is a container of 24 hours, and that the events of the day that spiral your day out of control or cause you to invest too much emotional energy into those events and takes you away from your focus, which is your purpose and your creator given abilities in order to change the world and live out your dreams. If you're focused on miscellaneous events, which should be neutral by the end of your evening routine, it can spill over into your potential for the next day. So that one interaction with a person where you had the ability to make a difference, you diluted your energy and your power and your passion by focusing on something that happened yesterday. And that's a trap, my friends, that I don't want you to fall into. I want you to look at each event as a neutral event. In order to do that, you must be in the present, you must accept, but also reframe. So an example of a reframe is if you were late to the office, for example, had a big meeting with a client and you were late. The reframe would be, I am always on time. I'm responsible. I respect my clients. And next time I have a big opportunity, I will be on time. This is the way that I always am. So that allows you to catch the event that happened and reframe it in a positive affirmation that reaffirms who you actually are and does not allow you to attach your personal value and self-worth to a negative event, which essentially the negative event is not the truth about you. In so many cases, we will fall victim to an event and assign that negative energy to our personality or who we are. That's the way I always am. Well, I'm stupid. I'm not good enough. And that's false. And you should always correct that language when it is present. A powerful evening routine keeps you grounded. The most powerful benefit of the evening routine is its ability to keep you grounded, sane, and reasonable. In your quest to reach towards the greatest version of yourself that you can be, do, and have, things will get crazy. The great thing is, no matter what happens during the day, you have the ability to replay the events in your mind's eye and make sense of it. So, no matter if something happens to you, it is ultimately your responsibility to be aware, and you have the gift of the last word. How great would it be to always have the last word on a panel, or the last word if you're the closing act? And that's what you are in this particular instance. You have the final say over the events that have happened within your day, and you can reframe those in a positive way so that you have control over how you feel about the events, to make them neutral, to extract the lesson from it, and move into the next day with a clean slate. Now, in terms of my evening routine, and I'll go into some transparency in terms of how I could improve my own day in terms of what has happened. So I filled out my daily gratitude worksheet, which is broken down into 4 quadrants. 5 reasons that I am grateful. 5 people I will discuss my idea with. I've actually written down 7 in that category. 5 reasons I am abundant. I actually wrote down 6. And 5 reasons today will be amazing. And so in reviewing my intentions for the day in those 4 areas, Some things went well, some things went off track a little bit. And so I'll share what has happened, and also to reframe in a positive way, I'm going to share with you what went well with today. So my areas of improvement are: number one, staying within my circumstances for too long. Now, the background story is I had a very painful injury over the weekend, and it impacted my morning routine, which is heavily involved in movement, moving my body, getting outside, moving. Very important to my sanity, my clarity, and just affirming of life. It's my personal preference for a big chunk of my morning routine. So missing that, as a result, I started my day off with higher anxiety and uncertainty than I usually experience. Now, I'm a big believer, this is very important for me, in terms of controlling language and reframing language in my interactions with others. I'm a big believer in communicating possibilities, not circumstances. And I believe that people don't always want to hear your problems and troubles. And in many cases, your problems and troubles are wrapped up in those circumstances. Woe is me. I could have reframed my day by asking myself, what can I do with the rest of my body? How can I leverage my other limbs and other parts of my body to have a great workout? Reframing. That's what I could have done to improve the quality of my day. Number two, I assigned my tasks too late in the day. Now, for me, in my business, assigning my tasks before 10 a.m. keeps me focused on updates and necessary steps to get projects completed. I had some important administrative tasks that needed to be addressed this morning, and that took me away from my goal. So I could have reframed this particular part of my day by basically being more aware of what needed to be done within those moments, and maybe prioritizing earlier and saying, okay, let me get some task on the board and get everything assigned right away, as opposed to taking care of the admin task first. It was important, but it only would have taken a grand total of 5 to 10 minutes to get some tasks assigned. And that would have taken a major load of anxiety that I mentioned in step one off of my plate. So that's another key area that I need to focus on to make sure I get things done tomorrow. Maybe to add another, set a calendar reminder for 10 a.m. on my Google Calendar to make sure that I have a smartphone alert to say, hey, have you assigned your task? The beauty of it is that within my operation, I do have apps on my smartphone that allow me to communicate to my team directly and not miss a beat. So that's the reframe, things I could have done better. And I want you to think about your day in some ways that you could have done better for your particular purpose and your path within your day. Now, what went well for me? Healthy breakfast and lunch. Number one, I kept my personal accountability promise for this week, which I made yesterday, of 1 coconut each day. Obviously, today's Monday, so I'm starting the week off on a very positive start. I also enjoy plenty of fruit and meatless meals throughout the day. Today was a 100% meatless meal day, which is excellent for me. Number two, started my day focused. And the reason I started my day focused is because my daily gratitude worksheet went amazing. So filling out the 4 quadrants and taking the time to do that in the morning, chances are, stats show that my day becomes more clear when I fill out the worksheet early in the day. And number 3, great life planning. I am very heavily focused on the idea that entrepreneurship is a bridge to create the ideal lifestyle. And I did some great work in completing some research on excursions that I desire to complete. And I'm very happy for that because in many cases, I have a particular exercise that I do called Work from Anywhere Friday. And that's where the excursions come in. I get my work started in awesome remote locations, and that allows me to reaffirm the decision of being an entrepreneur, visit some awesome places, and continue to get some work done. So that's that. Shadidi Laser, and this is the power of the evening routine. To download the Daily Gratitude Worksheet, please check the link. I'm going to update the link to download the Daily Gratitude Worksheet now. It's also going to include my personal breakdown of the 4 quadrants. Like I said, 5 reasons I am grateful, 5 people I will discuss my idea with, 5 reasons I am abundant, and 5 reasons today will be amazing. And the great thing about this is that this particular process was not started when I was at the top of my game. This worksheet started, I was going through so much turmoil in my life years ago. Everything just seemed like it was piling on me, an avalanche of circumstances, of trouble, problems. And it was so bad. I just remember this time that I was in Dunkin' Donuts. I remember this. And the line was so long in Dunkin' Donuts, like people were bumping against me. So I'm here, and I had this napkin. And things were so troublesome. Anxiety was so high that I just started writing down positive statements about myself. I'm happy to be alive. I am thankful to be breathing. Oh, I can hear. I'm thankful I can think, and all of these different aspects or qualities that we take for granted each day. And it started from there. And I started to speak to people. I've shown this particular template to about 20 multimillionaires. And they'll say things like, well, 5 people to discuss your ideas with, it should be 20. They should do 20 each day. Make them do 20. So great feedback from this particular template. And it's been a life changer. And the evening routine, as far as the evening success ritual, is just as important as your morning routine. I am a big believer. And if you look at the success habits of not just millionaires, because money does not always determine success. It is an indicator. It is a benchmark, but I don't want people to think that money is the only thing that measures or determines true success in life. There's so many people who make such an impact. My high school coach, for example, there's like 1,000 people who are better people, men and women, as a result of his time and his tutelage and his wisdom and his knowledge. And that has nothing to do with, he did never pick me up in a Bentley. So that's very important. I want to make sure I acknowledge some wonderful people. Number 1, my cousin, Erica Hill. Thank you for tuning in. And I know you mentioned you don't like coconuts, but your daily success ritual could include any other fruits. For me, coconuts are excellent because it's natural Gatorade. It has electrolytes. And believe it or not, I work out 2 times every single day. So I had to become almost my own scientist in terms of how can I recover quickly in order to succeed. None of the people that I mentioned, Erica, are single, but I have lots of winners within my circle. So, you'll get an introduction within there. I just got to make sure everything, I don't want to have to body slam anybody. So only the best for you, only the best. So we'll work that out. Chris Coleman, the birthday man. Yesterday was his birthday. Make sure you tune into his work. He does a lot. He's a multi-talented guy. He's an artist, musician. Let's see, wine pairing guru. So check out Chris Coleman's work. Go to his page. Ryan Pratcher Bay. Thank you for the comment. And make sure, I think I sent you the template a while ago. It should be within your messenger, but that's what I'm referring to in this particular video. If you register if you click the link that I'm going to add, it also includes breakdowns. Like I went and created several different breakdowns of this process and my reasons behind why everything exists, and just different conversations that I've had, the whole thing. Actually, the template itself has an entire course behind it, because so many people, number one, it changed my life. It's something I do every day, even on Sundays, even on Saturdays, even when I'm out of town. Not every time do I take the pretty template and use that. In many cases, I'll just grab a blank sheet of paper and just break it down into 4 quadrants. And many times I don't. If let's say I am down in my spirits, because entrepreneurship is a roller coaster, it's a roller coaster ride. And maybe some days I need to write down 10 reasons. Or I'm at a conference and it's day 2 of the conference and I'm scheduling meetings left and right. So I may discuss my ideas with 20 people that day. The whole power of it is time investment, as well as the active exercise of thinking. Thinking is the hardest thing that many of us do, and it's so hard that many of us avoid the activity altogether. And you can tell who plans their life, and you can tell who reacts to their life, who reacts to their circumstances, who reacts emotionally to the things that are going on, versus someone who says, this is just a season and my time is coming. I know what I intend to be, do, and have. And that's an important mindset to have. Now, Eric Canales, thank you for tuning in, my bro. Good to see you on the Facebooks. Hope you and your family are well. And Afterlife Jones, my jiu-jitsu buddy, who I have not seen in a while. You need to check into the gym, my friend. But thank you for tuning into the video. Promotions are Thursday too, by the way. You need to be there. You should be. So this is Shadidi Laser. Don't just watch this video. I want you to get into your evening routine. So what I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. Number 1, what went well for you today? What went well for you today? Number 2, what events can you reframe in a positive light? Again, the reframe is your ability to have the final word in the argument that you are the best version of yourself. Those events of today were saying, hey, or excuse me, the events are neutral. The meaning you gave to those events took you off of your path, distracted you, got you upset for whatever reason. It may not be directly with the person. It could have been with traffic. It could have been stepping in a puddle. It could be spilling ketchup on that wonderful dress or that nice shirt that you bought. And anytime that you step away from who you're supposed to be and the highest vibration that you're to be on, that takes you outside of that positive frame. So what events can you reframe into a positive light? What events do you want to have the final say on? And finally, what can you do better tomorrow? Think about the events. What can you do better tomorrow? So that's your homework from me to you. Evening routines, evening rituals are just as important as the morning routine because it gives you the chance to end things right. If you've ever had a bad breakup or you got in an argument and you never spoke to the person again, and your regret is, I wish I had one more conversation with that man or woman. And the evening routine is your chance to have that final conversation, make things right, get on the right accord in your day. Shadidi Laser, Daily Gratitude Worksheet. Download your copy. Thank you for your time. Your time is the most valuable investment you can make in any person or idea. So I appreciate you so much. And have a great, positive, and productive evening.